3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Buckhouse Podcast. I am Johnathan Buckhouse, one of your hosts. The other host is Benjamin Buckhouse, my little brother. And this is a podcast where we catch up. We are two brothers that have similar interests, and we just once a week get on the phone together, talk, catch up, and talk to you guys. But we've done a little bit of things in our life, so we'd love to give you guys some gems and some, words of wisdom. That being said, Ben has been on the gym grind, and he's been waking up really early to get to the gym, and this podcast is going down super late at night, so Ben might be tired because I'm throwing his schedule completely off. It's all my fault. But bro, how's the gym life and how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good about the gym. I really am. I'm not saying I'm nervous, but with the hectic schedule that we have, which that's part of life. Life is just a hectic schedule and how you adapt to it. But with the podcast filming dates and things that we have to do with the opening seasons and with your travel dates and everything, it's going to be a little interesting. But no, I set myself up on a essentially like 8 workout cycle for this month, I guess you could say. And it's kicking my butt right now. It's kicking my butt. I had a friend at Best Buy who went to school for like not physical therapy, but like basically like bodybuilding, or just your body and like weightlifting, and I don't know exactly what it was, but anyways, he made me this nutrition, and he made this like 3 workout day thing for me a while ago, and I finally am implementing it. But it's a push-pull leg day, so push being chest, shoulders, and triceps, pull being back and biceps, and then leg day just being leg day, actually leg and core day. But so I'm incorporating that into then this workout regime that Tyler, our older brother, taught me, which was doing 10 to 12 reps, and then the next week doing 8 to 10 reps, then the next week 6 to 8, and then the next week 4 to 6, but you increase in weight. So I'm combining the two into this like workout regime, and it's kicking my butt, and I love that. It's, but it's kicking my butt, and like I'm physically just exhausted. My wife Kirsty keeps complimenting me, which is motivating, but she's like, she sees changes in my body. She's like, "You look bigger," and I'm like, "Thanks, baby. That's all that matters." So
I can't see, Ben, but did you just flex?
What?
Did you flex?
That's so funny because I did just kind of flex. I have a hoodie on, but that's so funny.
I could.
No,
working out feels great. So we talked a lot about it in the earlier episodes. Like this summer, I was recovering from an injury, so I was doing a lot of gym stuff on top of trying to get thinner and stronger, and so I was in it. And then I'm actually going into my kind of getting out of working out a bunch, because it's really hard to go snowboard for 5+ hours a day and then come home and work out, not only because of time, but because physically it's a lot. And when I snowboard, it's not just like doing runs. I'll like hike to the top of mountains and ride couloirs or skin up ski resorts, things like that. So it's pretty demanding. So I tend to like do workout less. That being said, I had a lot of muscle gain. So I'm going to try and do things like while watching football, I'm going to just do push-ups the entire game. Not really count, but just like go after it. Sorry, I just got a text message that threw me off. And, but I love hearing that you're going after it, bro, especially because like you don't have a physical job. And like, as your brother, I want you to be the best version of yourself. So to hear that you're going to the gym, putting in that work, like I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, my job's not very physical, but at the same time, I do help out as much as I can, which involves me like going to take the trash out and things like that, which it's all minor stuff, but it's like the majority of the time the kids are downstairs, and so I'm like walking up 2 flights of stairs, because that's about like what it is 2 flights of stairs. So I'm doing that over and over throughout the day. So like I'm at least moving. I'm not just sitting at my desk, which is kind of nice. But no, you're right. It's not nearly as physical as it was when we were throwing trucks together at Target, unloading 6,000 piece trucks and stuff like that. Actually, that's like that. Those numbers, 6,000. That's like Best Buy days. We were unloading like 15,000 piece trucks at Target. But no, it's
20, like a 23 a 23,000 piece truck. That's like 23,000 boxes. Or 2,300 piece truck was very common. Those are fun though, man. Jamming the music, unloading the trucks. Dude, we're gonna talk about some Target days real quick. We even told the Target story.
Which one? There's so many Target stories.
We do have a lot. Yeah, there really are. I don't know if we want to go down this road, guys. But if you didn't know, so I worked at Target for like 5.5 years. But it was like I worked at Target for like 3 years when Ben graduated high school and wanted to move up. And I was like, well, bro, just come work at Target with me. We're going to snowboard a bunch. We'll play video games. It's going to be sick. And it's exactly what we did.
I remember moving up to the mountains and getting the job at Target. And I remember there was a lot to it because it was like when I first moved up there, I was 17. And being at 17, so Johnathan was working at he was working the 4 a.m. shift. Now he would still go in at 3:30, but he was working the 4 a.m. shift. But there's a lot of like laws that protect that. And so in order for me to work at 4 a.m., I had to be 18. Any hour before 8 a.m., you had to be at least 18. And so I started off as a cashier, which is like one of the worst jobs in the sense of like you just sit at register and just literally scan items. That's all you're doing. It's not fun at all. And so that was the first job I had.
I think everyone understands it because now everyone scans their own groceries.
Dude, I do remember this.
Imagine scanning your own groceries all day.
I do remember this. Looking back at it, I would do way better now, especially with my experience selling Best Buy credit cards. But my job really was to do like the Target red cards, which honestly is way easier than selling a Best Buy credit card. But anyways, but I wasn't the best at selling the red cards, but I was like the fastest cashier, and I still kind of like take pride in that. And I remember Johnathan could attest to it. He saw the numbers. I consistently had the most checkouts for month after month until I changed positions. Dude, I would check people out so fast.
At Target, you could check out how fast someone was ringing someone out, conversions, all kinds of stuff like that. The amount of metrics they have in that store is insane.
Now going back to it, but I was just like the fastest cashier, and eventually I turned 18, and then I started the 4 a.m. shift with Johnathan, and yeah, we would when I first started, we were just really focusing on the snowboarding. So we would go to work, we'd get off, and then go snowboard, and then we were doing the YouTube and everything. Shout out to you for grinding out the edits while working and all that stuff. But then when the summer came around, they started offering overtime, and holy cow, did we work. We would go in at like 1 a.m. some days, just Johnathan and I go in at 1 a.m. and just go and get work done. It was honestly one of the most fun experiences I had was working with you in that sense. And like people just didn't get it.
We would be like jamming out to music, and like I would ride the power equipment around the store.
We did some, I think we can talk about it now because I don't think it matters. But like, I remember, I'll try to have like a picture because I'm sure it exists on the internet. But I always called it skating a pallet jack, where we would stand on a pallet jack where you got like the two inserts, and we would have a foot on one side, and we would kick our feet down the middle, and then when we're getting momentum, we would then put our foot on the other one, and we'd be like rolling around the store because we would go and move pallets and then run back.
Jacks rip.
Dude, I'm so good at them. I'm so good at them.
Pallet jack.
It's bad actually how good I am at them.
We single-handedly kept the management employed at that store for about 2 years, because I know that's a fact, because the moment I quit, they all got fired.
I struggle with those Target days. Like I loved it so much, and honestly, some of the most fun times I had was at Target. But at the same time, they just treated you and I like crap, dude. They did not value us and the hard work we put in, which was just laughable, because that's like you just said, like we were the glue to the warehouse. Like without us, that place just fell apart.
The entire logistics process. That being said, like I learned a lot from Target. I don't regret my Target days at all. I learned not only how to work hard, I learned how to move up. I learned how to manage people. I learned how to run a multi-million-dollar company. I just learned a crap load. And yes, in the grand scheme of things, I did not get paid worth what I put in via effort, whatever. But I learned that lesson too in life, and now I work for myself, and I know how hard I work clearly will translate. Now that I own my own business, the harder I work in my business, the more money I will receive. It's very clear. And I learned how to work extremely hard. So like it just works out great. And I work for myself, and I ain't going back. I ain't working for nobody.
No, there's always stuff to learn, and I don't know. I would never take away what we did at Target, but yeah, most definitely we did not get paid or given the respect that we kind of deserved. But that's life. Not everyone, like that's just not going to happen. So
think about this though, like so for 5.5 years, and honestly, it was like for like 4.25 years, I loved working at Target. I absolutely loved it because it paid me what I needed, but it gave me what I wanted, which was the ability to go snowboard and to do my life the way I wanted to. So it was a job that worked with my life for years. And when it started to not work for my life is when I did need more money. And I was like, hey guys, for the last 4 years, I gave you all of me and I worked my absolute butt off. Can I get a decent compensation? And that didn't happen. So I had to leave because I was like, well, I'm having a kid. I need to go.
That's so many places though, like they're not gonna, yeah. It's tough because like I hear people.
That's just the corporate world.
Yeah, I hear people say like you have to ask for raises, which I strongly believe in that, but it's like the majority of times that I've asked for raises, I don't get them. And it's not that I expect it to happen, but it's like, it seems like some people just get blessed when they do that. And then other people, they just get the short end of the stick. So
I heard the ultimate hack right now for increasing your income is to work at a place no longer than 2 years. So you get a job, work there for 2 years. You take that experience that you learned and then you go job hunting. And you're like, hey, I'm this. And then you get the increase by working somewhere else. Then you work there for like 2 years and then you can jump to a different job again. Does that make sense? So like when I worked at Target, the frustrating thing was like, I was like a senior leader, had keys to the building. I could be the only manager in the store. I was like running everything. And they were hiring new people lower than me that were making more than me. And I was like, yo, like I'm not trying to be ridiculous here, but like you're going to pay Joe Blow $30 an hour. Like I'm his boss. Like, and I also work like 40 times better than anyone in this store. So like, can you at least pay me like $32 an hour? It was more in the 20s. But anyways, and they're like, no. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that. And then they would ask me to train these people. And I'm like, dude, you're making me swallow my ego so hard right now. This is killing me.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen the analytics that back up that it's like people that change jobs make more money than people that stay at the same jobs their entire career. And there's that, but it's like as somebody that has job hopped a lot, now I haven't necessarily done it the best way, but as somebody that has like changed jobs a lot, it kind of eventually like starts to hurt you a little bit in the sense that people look at your resume and they're like, man, you don't stay at the same place for very long, huh? And so like there is that. But no, it's, yeah, I've learned that it's easier to start a new job at a higher wage than it is to get a raise at your current job. And that shouldn't be the case. Like it really shouldn't. That just doesn't make any sense. And that's exactly what was happening for us at Target, where it was, yeah, like I remember because there was a friend of ours, I won't say the name or anything, but he got a job that was like, yeah, like you're saying, underneath him. and he was making more money than you, and we essentially talked about that, and you were like, even he was like, dude, that's BS. Like, you got to go talk to them. And then that's how that all started. But hey, then you started working at Frito-Lay, and they paid you decent there, you know?
They paid me decent. And then I started working for myself, and I wasn't paying myself anything. I took a pay decrease to work for myself, but eventually I figured it out. And now I'm making like way more than I was ever making at those jobs. And I was like, how did I live off that money? Because I look at, so it's, I mean, I definitely had way more expensive like expenses like employees and stuff for the business and things. But sometimes I'm like, wait, I made that much money? Where did it go? Where did it go?
I made more money last year than we've ever made, and yet it did not feel that way at all. And like, it's
you're like what
inflation
happened?
and everything.
Well, that's because of grocery prices. I was saying that's because that's where all my money went this last year. Is groceries are because you and Kirsty are very similar to us. Like we don't eat out a lot. Like we like to make our own meals and meal prep things like that. But like it's almost cheaper to go eat out nowadays. But it's not like eating out is very expensive. But there's like certain ways to eat out that are cheaper. It's like, oh,
literally, Kirsty and I were talking about it on the drive home today because we have some food meal prepped at home that we could eat, but we were talking about like, what do you want to do for dinner? And I was like, let's do sandwiches, because I'll be honest, I'm really enjoying these sandwiches. I know that they're not the healthiest, but we are getting like deli meat from the deli, which is expensive, and then from there we've got like our healthy mayo and stuff like that. We got fresh tomatoes, lettuce, so we're doing it like somewhat healthier. The bread that we're using is that like Dave's Jacked bread or whatever, where it's like higher in protein and stuff. Still got carbs, still has its grains and stuff.
$20 a loaf.
Yeah, still expensive. Yeah, no, exactly. Everything's so expensive. But we're like talking about it, and I was like admittedly trying to think of like, could we go out anywhere right now? And I'm like, we can't go anywhere right now and not spend like $30 or $40 on dinner. And I'm including like Chick-fil-A, and like you can't go anywhere. The cheapest thing to do right now is like a Little Caesars pizza, and that's like the
Applebee's.
Applebee's.
Yeah, dude, Applebee's, but it's not healthy for
Kirsty
you.
hates
It's
Applebee's.
it's horrible.
But
that's because it's cheap.
But no, like
you go to Applebee's knowing you're paying less and getting less, and it's amazing.
The cheapest thing nowadays.
You can also drink for $1.
The cheapest thing nowadays, oddly enough, is like pizza, and it's so bad. Because I remember,
dude, Domino's pizza has it. Inflation doesn't hit Domino's pizza. I'll tell you that. You can still get 2 mediums for $12 or $14.
But there's like, it's so bad, and like I don't know, it's so bad. But I wouldn't touch McDonald's with a 30-foot pole right now. But like even McDonald's apparently is really expensive. I haven't ate there in almost I would say a year, so I don't know what their prices are. But it's like like apparently McDonald's is still really expensive and stuff.
Obviously, we'll go get McDonald's for the kids. And the kids meal is like $5-6 up here in Summit, where they used to be like $3. And then like a double cheeseburger is like $4 now. I was getting those for $1 in high school. They're $4 now, I think. And I live in the mountains, guys, so my food's even more expensive than like if it was in Denver or like a city. If we go eat at our Jimmy John's, it is over $40 for 2 sandwiches. I'm like, dude, I could go get the top of the line ingredients from the city market and not pay $40.
Yeah, I don't. It's such a mess. And I know that you've kind of, I say complained, but more so like you've discussed this before, and you rightfully so. In the sense of complaining that you have this, but like shrinkflation, where it's like you're paying the same.
Dude, it's the worst. I mean, I know it because I worked at Frito-Lay. I was at Frito-Lay for like 6 months. We changed our prices like twice, and our ounces went down once or something. I mean, you're buying this bag of chips. It's like the family size, the large size is like what the normal bag used to be. That's like the point they got to now. Like the little gas station bags are like $5 for a bag of chips, like the size of your phone. It's like, seriously? Like, this is ridiculous.
Inflation is really bad right now for a lot of things, but I've noticed it particularly for like Chipotle, dude. Chipotle is extremely bad with their shrinkflation, and I just saw something on the news where social media was talking about it so much, and the new CEO was like, "Yeah, you guys are right. That's exactly what was happening." And apparently, the new CEO is trying to like reverse that, trying to bring it back to where it's like the standard serving sizes that they used to have without touching the price. Now, the price is still higher than what it used to be, but they're not going to like try to increase the price, but bring up the quantity or the amount of food that you're getting. But yeah, dude, the fact that they're like getting called out and they're like at least admitting it is nice. But it's like, dude, are you kidding me? Like the just it's like we're all hurting. Like we're all hurting. Could you just help us out a little bit? These mega giants out there.
Well, so when I was doing 75 hard, Chipotle, if I went somewhere, Chipotle was one of the better places I could eat for calories because I could get like a burrito bowl for like 600 calories and it was like really filling. And that was all after the complaining because Chipotle got laid into because they also changed their like meat. They were like changing their meat. They were doing all this stuff. And then they did just get a new CEO that like quickly pulled a lot of things back to what it was. And the couple times I went and got Chipotle when I was like traveling to Snowflex and stuff like that, it was good. I would say it wasn't bad. It was definitely expensive. If you want guacamole, you might as well just give them your savings account.
Dude, it's crazy how much extra stuff costs nowadays. And what I mean, like people started charging for extra sauce packets. When was that ever a thing? That was never a thing. I remember McDonald's was one of the first people to start it, but it's like, yeah, it's like 25 cents for a sauce packet. And I'm like, no.
Dude, 25, that's a steal, dude. I'll take that any day. It's like 50 to $1 at most places. If you go to a pizza place and you're like, hey, can we get some ranch? Like, yeah, you can get some ranch. That's $2.50. You're like, what?
It's so what? You know what is fine though, and I'm sorry that you don't get to benefit from this, bro. And sure, it's the worst food that you can eat, but you can still go to Sam's Club or Costco and get your $1.50 hot dog combo or $1.50 slice of pizza, and that's all that matters. You can get your cheap food at Sam's Club or Costco right now.
I'm trying to think if I even have something like a hack like that up here. I don't. Well, Mountain Lion. We have this. It's a breakfast cafe up here in the mountains, and it's amazing. And it's still the same, by the way. Like since like 6 years later, it's like still amazing. Or it's 9 years later for you.
Yeah, I'm getting so old.
You are old, dude. But it's like tripled in price now. It used to be able to get like a pig omelet for like $8. It's like $20 now for that plate. It's like, jeez, man.
You know what blows my mind is like, so we've got a place that I'll have to take you to one time that you're down here, bro. But it's the closest thing to that Mountain Lion feeling. And for the listeners, so Mountain Lion is a locally owned breakfast shop up in the mountains. And it's like a staple. It's like the breakfast place for Silverthorne and Dillon and everything. And it's just home cooked, food. It was always good serving sizes and always just really good. It's like the breakfast place that you want to go to, right? For your omelets and your, potatoes, your country potatoes, stuff like that. It's always just been so good. And they actually end up like closing and then reopening in a larger location and stuff like it's a great place to go get breakfast food. And there's something similar down here in the Springsboro that you may know about. It's called Omelet Parlor. And Kirsty introduced it to me, and it's got that same like home feeling as the original Mountain Lion, where you feel like you're in like some grandma's house kind of style, and the food just is home cooked, and it's really good. But I love it. I'll have to take you guys there one time, but we'll go there, and if you get a coffee, it's like $1.50 for black coffee. I'm like, what the no, like this stuff's free, or at least it always was free. Charging me $1.50 for this. It's ridiculous.
That's where most people spend a lot of their money is coffee. Starbucks is insanely expensive. And I feel like whenever I get a Starbucks, it's gone within like 3 minutes of me getting it.
dude, you're paying $7 for ice with some milk around it. That's all you're paying for.
Yeah, just drinking milk. I like making my own coffee. I think you could save if you make your own coffee, you save so much. And then if you do drink it black, which I only do that doing Whole30, but not buying coffee creamers and stuff like that, it makes it so much cheaper.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Like so many, like I think that coffee shops like that are kind of just cults, and I know that people are like
they're cults.
Well, it's like I know that people are like it's like convenient or whatever, and it's like at the end of the day, it's not. It's so freaking easy to make a cup of coffee. It's so freaking easy to make a cup of coffee.
I prep it in the night. I like prep my coffee maker at night, so then when I wake up and I'm like groggy, I just go push my buttons and it starts making it, and then I just gotta pour my little bit of creamer in and stir it. It's so easy.
So for people that are a little bit more on like the lazy scale, or people that are more forgetful that won't even do that, it still takes you a minute to make it in the morning. It takes you like a minute to make it in the morning, and you just take your coffee, like depending on,
especially if you do the Keurig.
I was about to say, depending on what you're doing, Keurig's even easier. But what we have, like we've got a coffee pot / single cup maker. Like you could do both. They're not Keurigs, but it's got like a single cup little filter that you then put your own coffee grounds in. But buying coffee grounds is so cheap, and yeah, it takes you 2 seconds just to put a coffee filter in, put a couple things of whatever, fill up your coffee pot, pour in the water, and start it. It takes you less than a minute to do that. Meanwhile, you go to Starbucks, you're going to spend 15 minutes in the drive-thru and get this overpriced cup of coffee that's mostly milk and ice. And I'm not exaggerating by that. It really is mostly milk.
And 700 calories. There's so many calories in a Starbucks drink. Unless you get the cold brews. The cold brews are a lot less calories.
I was gonna say, it kind of tastes like quote unquote good. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of any of those like coffee shops. There's a couple that like I don't know. I kind of like the drinks, but I still like my drinks at home more. Like my coffee at home more. But I'm like, now most people go there because like it's becomes a part of their routine, or it becomes part of their lifestyle. But like, dude, it's kind of just a cool. I didn't go to Dutch Bros, which I know Dutch Bros is started out west and is now making its way towards the East Coast and stuff. So if you guys are not too familiar, it's just one of those like drive-through coffee shops, little like bro-y style, like super happy people. But that place was all like
super happy people. Like
no, well, like
thing.
no, yes, okay, that does sound bad, but like no, there's memes about it, bro.
They're just drinking coffee and smiling.
No, like there's memes about it. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but it's like I've seen stuff on like TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and it's like the Dutch Bros employee at 4 a.m. and they're like smiling so big, and they're like, "Good morning, how's your day?" And they're like crawling into your car because they're like. They all like hang out of the window, the drive-through window, and they're like in your face, like super like, "What are you doing this weekend, dude? Yeah, like what's going on? Oh, dude, that's awesome, man!" Like they're just that like overly excited, and yeah, it's like 4 a.m. and you're like, "I'm just here for the coffee."
Is that part of their application?
No, it really is, dude. It really is.
We're really trying to hire bros. Do you skate? How many times have you surfed in your life? Shaka, bro.
Well, I remember one time I did go to Dutch Bros with my buddy Rug when we were going to go up to like Copper to go snowboard. And mind you, we live down in the Springs, so we have to leave at like 6 a.m., right? And him and I had good energy, so we're not like that, like piss off or anything like that. But we're like, it's early in the morning. We didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. And yeah, the dude was talking us up. He's like, "Dude, I see your snowboards. Where are you guys going?" And we're like, "We're going up to Copper." And he's like, "No way, dude. I'm actually, when I get off work, I'm gonna head up to Copper too. Maybe we should catch some laps." And I'm like, "Who are you?" Like, I don't know this guy.
That's funny. Yeah.
Like, so there's nothing wrong about their energy, but it's more so like, yeah, there's like a cult. The first Wednesday of the month, you get a free sticker, so everyone goes there. Anyways, these coffee shops are just cults, and in my opinion, they're not very convenient, and they're just the biggest waste of money. Make your coffee at home, guys. Just make it at home. Ugh.
So when I worked at Target and I made $20 an hour, if I spent $20 at like Starbucks or something, I'd be like, dang, there went an hour of work. Do you ever think like that?
That's the only way that I think, dude. Are you kidding me? That's the only way that I think.
Is when you're like contemplating something like, man, I really want to get this. It's like, well, that's 6 hours of work to get that. Is that worth 6 hours of my like time at work? Because if you just look at your paycheck you get in 2 weeks, you forget all the hours that went into that amount of money that you got, and you so quickly spend it on dumb things. But if you really like break down of like how much work went in to get that amount of money.
I love thinking in the terms of hours, even in the sense of like, oh, I could go spend $15 to go watch a movie at the movie theater, or that's going to be like an hour and a half to 2 hours of my life of entertainment or whatever. Or I can spend $60 on a video game that I will play for hundreds of hours, right? Like I've always thought about it like that. Like, where's the cost to kind of like benefit ratio, or how much time am I going to be spending on this, right? And so 100% I've thought about that when it comes to, if I'm going to go spend, like if you're making $20 an hour and you're like, I'm going to go spend $15 on food, you're like, is that really worth like an hour? It's like so many people they'll go out to eat for their lunch when they're at work. They'll go to McDonald's, Taco Bell, whatever. And they're like, yeah, it's just $15. It's like, yeah, you're doing that every single day. That means that your 40-hour work week is literally cut down to a 35-hour work week, because you're spending 5 hours of your work week just on food in that time. And like, it's just, no, I 100% know what you mean, bro. And I 100% agree. Like, it's, if you think about it as in hours spent to earn that money, it changes your perspective a lot.
So you want to know, one of the last movies I saw in the movie theater was the Batman movie with you.
Dude, that was the most expensive nap we ever paid for.
I was say, and I stopped going to movies, so we went to go see the Lego Batman movie. And this is how long ago we went to the movie theater. I don't count I just went to the movies for Trailer Tom's snowboard movie premiere. But I, one, was kind of working that. Two, I saw it 3 times. 3, I took Roman to the first time. So it wasn't a movie that like I went and paid, But we went to Lego Batman. We paid like $15 whatever to go see this movie, and fell asleep like right away. And this was when like we're grinding hard, working 4 a.m. shifts, all this type of stuff. And I was like, oh, I can't go to movies because of my schedule. And if I go to a movie, I will literally just fall asleep. So I stopped going to the movies.
The only time I go see movies nowadays are date nights, right, with Kirsty. So it's more so like an event. And the other thing though is like we go to see movies that we really want to see, such as like the Deadpool movie, right? Deadpool Wolverine. I was really excited about that. I was really amped because I like those movies, but also like I'm really into. I wouldn't say I'm really into, but like I like the callbacks that they've been making. Like I said, Deadpool and Wolverine, like bringing Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine and everything. It's really cool in my opinion. So I do enjoy that. Because of the content creation that we do, I honestly love a really good movie. I really do. But no, I 100% get it. And
I love going to the movies also, but I fall asleep now, so I don't. But Roman's been asking to go to the movies, so it was really cool to take him to his first ever movie. And he watched a movie. I guess it's not as cool. He watched a movie that his dad was in. So maybe it was cool. I don't know.
Maybe it's cool. You make YouTube videos all the time though, so I think it's a different type of cool. Yeah. But no, that 100% going, literally calling back to the Target conversation we started this podcast with. No, that we literally were working. Yeah, like that. It was in the summer when that movie came out, I want to say, and we went to go see it. And yeah, we were working like no less than 60 hours that week, and we thought it was a good idea to get tickets for like an 8 p.m. showing, and we both fell asleep. Yeah, we didn't remember a single part of the movie. We just
not one. I don't remember. I think I fell asleep with the commercial scene. I don't even think I made it to the movie.
We literally.
I was like, well, I'm not gonna pay money to try and see it again.
And what's so funny is we both really wanted to see that movie because we both we grew up playing Legos together, and then also the Lego movie came out. A couple years before, or whatever. And I remember watching that, and like we both thought it was a super funny movie, so we were excited about the Lego Batman movie.
It was so good.
Have you watched the Lego Batman movie since though, like with Roman or anything?
Yeah, I have a son. Yeah.
Dude, it's such a funny movie. It's such a good movie. I wish we watched it.
It's so good. I don't remember listening to it, but I do think though, listening to things while you sleep, I think you do get something out of that.
I think your subconscious brain is way more powerful than people realize, or way more powerful than people think. But it's kind of like we've talked about before, daily affirmations and things like that. And some people find it helpful, some people don't. But even if you're like listening to daily affirmations or listening to some type of motivational podcast or motivational speech or anything along those lines, and I say this because I struggle with an undiagnosed ADHD type stuff, but I'll have something playing and I'll be thinking about something completely different. My brain will be thinking about something completely different, but I'm still benefiting from listening to that stuff because it's affecting my subconscious brain. My subconscious brain is constantly hearing like positivity and stuff. So although my conscious brain might be thinking about something else, or I might be sleeping or whatever, getting that positive stuff in is just very healthy for you. And I also believe in like subconscious thoughts, or even just your conscious thoughts, what you're thinking about, or saying stuff like, oh, I'm so dumb. Like, don't say that. Don't say that. It affects you in way more ways than you actually think. Never call yourself dumb. Never call yourself stupid. Never call yourself weak. Like, you are what you think. And so I strongly believe in like subconscious brains and sleeping. Yeah. I'm crazy. I know.
That was a lot, bro. Dang. That was a rant. I know that I slept every single day in Spanish class and got the highest grade in Spanish class. And that, I think that feeds into it some way. But I also, you said something that I was going to go into. And
subconscious thinking, talking positive, listening to positive stuff.
Oh, yeah. When I'm thinking about something or focusing on something, I will not hear you. And this is the only thing that drives Bobby the most crazy, or like so crazy. But like, if I'm like writing a text message to someone or making a post or something, and if you try to talk to me, I just won't hear you. It doesn't register in my brain. Or if I'm like super deep in a thought and like trying to like break something down or figure something out, I'm not hearing you. And it's not because I'm trying to be rude. It's just my brain's like, this is what's important.
I remember hearing something, and I do believe it, as much as I remember not wanting to believe it, but I do believe it. And that's like, there's no such thing as multitasking. Your brain cannot put focus on two separate things. And you can say that you are, whatever, and like there are multitasking to a minimal level, such as like, oh, I'm walking on the treadmill while watching the TV at the same time. Yeah, you're doing two things that your subconscious brain can do. Like that's fine. But it's like, you can't be texting a conversation and speaking a completely different conversation out loud. Every time I've tried to do that, I literally will start typing words that I'm about to say instead of actually typing words that I want to say. Like, there's no such thing as genuinely multitasking. And that I believe that. Like, your brain can only focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah, definitely like something's suffering if you're trying to do two things at once. And so I try to just like with the kids or Bobby, just like, hey, like, let me finish this real quick, and then I can actually give you the attention that you need or want. Because if you're trying to get this while I'm trying to get this done, like, everyone's going to get less.
Yeah, I want to say I get frustrated, but if I'm like watching the news, or if I'm watching a show or something that I do have my attention on, and then someone starts talking to me, and then it like, I don't know, it's not that I get annoyed, but I'm like, I'm so sorry, like I wasn't listening. And it's not that I wasn't listening, it's like my focus was on something else, and then you started to talk to me. Like, it's not actually my fault that I wasn't listening. Like, like, sorry, give me a second. Like I was captivated by something. Can you say that again? You know?
I try to have that conversation with Bobby all the time where I'm like, hey, like, you need to get my attention better. Like, you can't just like say something and expect that I heard it. Like, you got to help you because I got caveman brain. And then nowadays in the world we live in too, there's so many things that want to suck your attention or suck you in. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm getting tired, guys. It's hitting me hard. Normally we do these podcasts a lot earlier in the day. By the way, I've noticed that I say things on the podcast, bro, and then the podcast comes out sooner than I announce it on my YouTube channel. And I get people in my live streams asking me questions about the thing that I announced on the podcast that hasn't been announced on the YouTube channel yet, and I'm in this conundrum. So, what I showed you this morning, I don't want to talk about on the stream or on the podcast yet until I announce it on the YouTube channel. But the reason why we're going, no, not live, but doing the podcast so late was 100% my fault. The reason why I'm tired is because it's 100% my fault. And then also, I get opening day Keystone and A Basin tomorrow. So I will be going, it's 9:30 right now. I will be waking up at 2 and heading over to Keystone to get in line at 3 in the morning to hopefully get first chair at Keystone because there's only 2 people in line right now. And then after riding Keystone a little bit, I'm heading over to A Basin to check out A Basin for opening day, making 2 top to bottoms, making a vlog. Got a big day tomorrow.
We do have a big day tomorrow. Yeah, we can call it early if that's what you need to do because I get it. I'm also tired, guys, and I've got a big weekend ahead of us. But no, yeah, I am curious.
But we're still doing it. Episode 31.
Yeah, I don't even think we've announced the episode yet. This is episode 31. We are killing it. And we got so much to do still. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited for what's next. But
this podcast is like in the infancy stage still. Obviously, we're hoping that this winter, because my personal channel will explode in the winter. So hopefully we can siphon a lot of you guys from over there and bring you here and create the audience here. Then all of a sudden this podcast will start creating its own audience as well due to the videos doing better from the siphoned audience. And overall, I'm stoked. Ben's putting a lot of work into these edits and this channel, which is really sick. And we're also trying to live our best lives that isn't just this YouTube channel. I got my own channel / business that I'm working on. Ben has his own job and he's focusing on his health. And so you guys get to hear us being like, man, we had to move this podcast 4 different times and somehow we still got it out though. And that's what's important.
We really did move this podcast around a lot, but we still made it happen and we're still going to make more to come. So yeah, I'm just stoked. I'm stoked on your season, bro. I keep praying for you. I keep thinking about you. I'm super stoked for it. And we were just talking about analytics and everything, and it's sick, dude. I'm super stoked about it.
I've never been more popular in October. It's now November 1st, but that was my best October ever for finances, views, all of it. At least on the platform wise, I definitely have sold more stickers in October, but people can't even buy hamburgers anymore. I don't think they're going to buy a $10 sticker.
Just wait a couple more months. Maybe people will start buying some stickers.
Maybe I just join the inflation train and raise the sticker price.
Make the stickers smaller and increase the... No, I'm joking.
Yeah, shrinkflation on this evolution stickers.
Make them 5% smaller. No one will know. I'm joking. That's terrible. But
that wouldn't even really increase my margins.
But no, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for being a part of the conversation. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for supporting us. We really do appreciate all of it. Got anything else to say, bro?
Get ready for the most chaotic, raddest time of this podcast because it's really easy in the summer and it gets better when it gets really hard. Everything gets better when it gets hard. Thanks for watching. See you guys next week. Peace.